We don't need to have the same beliefs. Our exchange with one another based on our religion, spirituality, even politics, though I'm not getting into that, is very valuable as far as developing our own beliefs, as far as developing what we know, what we think we know, and our acceptance of what we don't know. Because a lot of different traditions and religions and different, spiritual sects, they all have different aspects of reality and creation, I guess you could say, down. They all have different views that look at different aspects of what we all experience as sentient beings, as a united humanity. And these different perspectives, as far as how everything was created, how it exists, is God one with us? Are we just parts of God? Is God separate from us? Do we have to get to Him? And are we here where He is not? Does God exist? Is there just soul and spirit, or is soul and spirit part of God? Many different aspects of spirituality. Engaging in conversation and understanding with one another based on these topics allows every single person to develop something that they didn't have, and that is a consideration towards what they didn't already know, what they may not have been raised with, what we weren't raised with, maybe, what we had not studied or considered or hadn't even realized before we converted to whatever religion we're a part of, or lack thereof. I'm also including atheists and agnostics in this. Maybe we didn't consider the new science about consciousness and the behavior of electrons blinking in and out of existence and appearing at different parts of this universe where we have them under a microscope, and really not knowing where they go, and really observing atoms at their fundamental level, as we have been able to recently, and seeing how they behave. When it comes to string theory, we're not even near the ability to really see down to that level as far as the material and energy fabric of reality that exists here, not to mention its relation to other dimensions, which it obviously relates to when we get down to string theory, because it's very small and it's very linked to other ways that kind of time and space relate. Anyway, without getting too far into that, it's very profitable for every single person to be open to other people's beliefs. If you're a Christian, be willing to listen to a Muslim about what they have to say about their opinion of Jesus. Maybe they think, most Muslims think that Jesus isn't necessarily the Son of God, but all people are the sons and daughters of God. He didn't come down to earth, He's separate, and He didn't come into a corporeal androgynous form. I think most Muslims believe that. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm saying it incorrectly. Or maybe we should listen to Buddhists and really think that, okay, there isn't a separate God, but there is this reality that is beyond definition, that is formless, that is, the state that we exist when we're in that reality, beyond everything, is emptiness, yet also nirvana. And compassion itself, and the development of one's mind, and one's ability to empty one's mind of all these unnecessary thoughts and reactions to our physical world, allows us to reach a state of enlightenment that prepares us for the nothingness that is nirvana, which pain and fear and desire don't exist, just pure consciousness in a way that we can't even relate to, so we just call it emptiness. Maybe we can hear that from a Buddhist person. Maybe from a Hindu we can hear, I'm Hindu, so maybe we can hear that we are all parts of God, and the different gods are part of God, and every single atom, all space, time, material, energy, it doesn't matter. We're all part of God. Everything's a part of God, but to varying degrees, varying degrees of development along the spiritual path. One day minerals and plants might become sentient, and not necessarily like the physical matter of them, but they're the energy that is the antimaterial particle, that is the soul, will transfer into other forms, and eventually those antimaterial particles will develop to the sense that they reach our point as being humans. And then eventually our antimaterial particles, if we move upward, will transcend this physical body. We will understand everything as far as our relationship to the universe, what we are supposed to do, and we'll be completely compassionate, completely logical. And then our anti-material particles would transcend the material realm itself. This is very dumbing it down. Working towards that transcendence that is beyond the material and energy realm that we exist in, to the extent that we don't understand how it works. But our anti-material particles or souls will extend and expand in a way that they are not confined and become one with God. Now, as far as God is concerned, I usually like to think of God as the source. I'm a Hindu, but I'm a certain kind of Hindu. There are many different Hindu beliefs, but I think of God as the source. I don't think of it as like this androgynous being that has human form. When let's say in the Bible, it says that we are created in God's image. That really means the functionality of our being, of our soul, our spirit, not necessarily our physical material body. And once we reunite with God, we become one with the infinite infinity in a way. There are finite infinities that expand at a certain rate, but God is the infinite infinity. But without getting too much into mathematics and physics, let's move on. The ability to accept the idea that maybe one is incorrect, or maybe that other people have something to share that we haven't spiritually considered that will help us along our own spiritual path, is really divine. It allows us to conquer our ego and explain to ourselves that there's a chance that we need to know more than we do know, and that is very vital to a human spiritual path, a very human spiritual path. Now, never be afraid to walk up to somebody who you think is spiritually, religiously combative, not physically combative. If you think that they're a physical threat, don't walk up to them. But engage them in conversation, and even if they're very, verbally combative and they disagree with you or say they're going to hell, try to learn from what they understand. Try to learn from, their fear, especially if they're verbally combative. Try to learn from their fear and ego, and try to learn what they don't know by what they tell you that they do. And when we examine other people, even ignorant people, as far as what they think that they know about spirituality or religion, their religion, other people's religion, then we grow in a way to where we can move away from that, because we obviously see the ignorance, and we can move away from it by understanding the people who bear that ignorance on their back, who have that ignorance. So, we don't all have to have the same beliefs. We don't all have to believe the same. And it's really productive for everyone if we don't, because we all evolve not by our sameness, but by our difference and coexistence with that difference that exists in other people. Collaborating, understanding, and exchanging with all of the differences that we have in this world. That's how we grow. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope this video was interesting. If it was, if you learned anything, or if you just enjoyed it, hit that thumbs up down there. It really helps out the channel. If you want to put a comment down in the comment section below, if you want to ask me a question, or think I just said something wrong or right, or you just want to say something in general, then feel free to shoot your comment down there. I try to respond to all comments if I can. And thank you very much for watching. I hope all of y'all consider this opinion that we should talk to everyone about their beliefs. Y'all have a great day.